Hey y'all, happy Friday. So let's pick back up and dig back in. So again, yesterday we left off and I mentioned Rick Renner saying that somewhere along the line, somebody left a door open for Satan to come in. And I don't want to leave the doors open. I want to keep my guard up, keep my eyes fixed, stand in the armor of God and keep him out. I want to stand up against the enemy. And as Ephesians tells us, Ephesians 6:13, that we may be able to resist and stand our ground in the evil day of danger. Okay? So this was really interesting, and it just adds so much revelation to the thief coming to steal. So the word that Jesus uses in John 10 there is kleptes. That's the Greek word, kleptes. Now, what does that sound like? You think about stealing, and this word is kleptes, and it sounds like kleptomaniac. Well, that's exactly where we get our word kleptomaniac. One who can't help but steal, right? That's what they do. That's Satan. That's this thief. And of course, Merriam-Webster says of a thief, one who steals, especially stealthily or secretly. And that's how the enemy works. And we've talked about this before, because if he blatantly came, knocked on the door and said, I'm coming in because I want to steal your family, I want to kill your dreams and destroy your life, destroy your hope. If he said, your destruction is my end game, would we open the door? Absolutely not. Under no circumstance would we open the door. But that's not how he comes in. This thief comes in and steals stealthily, sneaky. Again, go back to Genesis. When Satan approaches Eve, we are told that the serpent was more subtle and crafty than any living creature of the field. Subtle and crafty, stealthily and secretly. Some definitions of to steal: to take the property of another, especially as a habitual or regular practice. To come and go secretly, gradually, or unexpectedly. To seize or gain or win by trickery. See, Satan starts small. He just needs to gain some kind of access, some entrance into the territory that he's after. And then once he's in, he will little by little take more ground until suddenly, like the demoniac, you feel too far gone for help. This man, remember, he had a home, he had a family, and yet somehow he found himself living among the tombs and among the dead. But Jesus. And that's where you and I, believers, those who walk in the power and authority delegated to us by Jesus Christ, are of paramount importance in this day and time. Because we come bringing the freedom that Jesus brought. And it says, Jesus was commanding him, come out of the man, you unclean spirit. And, after, it's interesting, why did Jesus say, you have to stay here? Sometimes I think we ask to go and the Lord's like, no, you need to stay. And we really would rather he said we could go. But here's the thing, and we'll close today with this. So remember that the unclean spirits begged him. It says in verse 12 says, and the demons begged him, saying, send us to the hogs. They kept begging him urgently not to send them out of that region. So he permitted them to go into the hogs. But the unclean spirits didn't want to give up the hold that they had. They were like, well, we may have lost this one, but we want to stay and find somebody else because this territory is too important for us to lose. Okay, so what does Jesus do? When this man who has experienced the power and goodness and mercy of God, and it is indisputable, the transformation that has happened. Jesus refused, this is verse 19, Jesus refused to permit him to go with him, but he said, go home to your family and friends and your relatives and bring back word to them of how much the Lord has done for you, how he has had sympathy and mercy, compassion on you. And the man departed and began to publicly proclaim in Decapolis, that's the region of 10 cities, how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were astonished and marveled. So again, the Lord is not fighting a physical battle with those unclean spirits and demonic forces that asked to stay, but he has sent a light to the darkness. He has sent this man to publicly proclaim in this region what God has done for him. This is what I used to be. I was that person. I was that man who terrorized the community, who prevented trade. People were scared to come near. I lived among the tombs, but Jesus came, and this is what he did for me. But you understand, the whole point I really want to pull out of this story was that our battle was not with flesh and blood. That there were powers and principalities waging war against that territory. But Jesus had power over it. And so do you and I. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock for our live. Bye, y'all.